In this video I'm going to show you some neat little tips and tricks that I've picked up over time that I use in working on my layouts. And by the way, come visit us at papatrains.com. We have all kind of diecast things. We have train sets. Just come over and visit. You can see what we've got. I'm going on 600 items in the store now. But first of all, one of the best tips I ever got: get a piece of glass to work on. Glass, if you get a good piece of glass, it's flat, and we always need a flat surface to work on when we're building models and that sort of thing, or any kind of work that you're working on. It's a surface that can be easily cleaned. I get glue on it all the time. Sometimes tape winds up on it. I mean, it just, no matter what. And I just simply take a razor knife. Once it all dries, very easy to clean up. You got a clean surface and you're flat and ready to go again. But one neat thing about it, if you're working on a model, take your instruction page, stick it right under the glass. Now, you're not going to mess up the instructions. It's going to be right there for you to see. You can see exactly what you've got to do while you're putting it together. I mean, it's just been one of the best tips that I ever came across. I don't even remember where I read it or got it, but trust me, buy you a piece of glass, $6 or $7 at Walmart. Another tip, and I don't even remember how I found this stuff: Goo Gone. It cleans your tracks. It cleans stuff. It does not. You can, every now and then you'll get a piece of some kind of sticky thing that comes on a model or something, and it'll leave some tape residue or something like that. It will clean that off without messing up your. It won't mess up plastic, and it won't mess up finishes on the little cars and stuff. Somebody told me the other day that they have a very I don't know what you'd call it, advanced Goo Gone, or for really getting off stuff that's hard to get off. They said don't use that because it will mar finishes. But just regular old Goo Gone, you're going to use it for so many things you're not going to believe it. Number one is cleaning your track. You'll be surprised. Just take a piece of cotton, put a little bit on the cotton, run it around your track, and you'll be surprised at the black stuff that comes off on that cotton. No abrasion, no anything. It's a citrus product. I don't know what they make it of, but I guess it's some kind of like orange peels or lemon peels or something. But anyway, it doesn't smell bad either. So get you some Goo Gone. You'll be glad you did. You'll use it for all kind of stuff when you're cleaning up. But don't get the heavy duty kind. Just the regular old Goo Gone. Now, you're going to have all kind of little tools and stuff. I found one of these things. I think it was Hobby Lobby. I wish I could get them to sell in my store, but I don't know where the supply would be. I don't think I paid but about $6 for this thing. It rotates. It's like a Lazy Susan, and got all these little places where you can store things. Now, you're going to need all kind of stuff. X-Acto knives. You've just got to have an X-Acto razor knife. That's one of the essential tools. I've got 2 or 3 different kinds here. This is called a pen tool. It's used for piercing things. That's a very usable tool. My brother gave me a tool, and I have no idea what it's called. And I don't know if you'll be able to see how the ends are shaped. But this little thing, the sides are somewhat sharp, and it comes to a point like a paddle on one end, and the other end is the same thing but curved. Now, I wish I knew what it was called. So here I am trying to show you how to use something or a great tool, and I can't tell you what the name of it is. But in an art supply store, if you run across one of these, believe me, you will use it to clean out little corners and stuff on your models. I like to, anytime I'm working with a building that's supposed to simulate brick, a lot of times you'll find that the brick, or it's molded onto a piece of plastic, but it doesn't really look like brick because you can't see the gaps in between. If you will take some spackle and rub in the gaps of that brick, and if you don't like it, you can wash spackle right out of it if you do it before it dries, but it will all of a sudden, that brick will it'll pop, those cracks will just pop out at you because they are now somewhat white, and it looks like cement in there, and all of a sudden it looks like a brick building. But anyway, I use this to kind of clean up the corners. There'll be a little residue left, and you'll have to clean out some of the corners when you do the spackle thing. But anyway, great tool for that. And of course, various little screwdrivers and that kind of stuff. And but you got to have something to organize your things. Now, speaking of organization, I saw some kind of thing that was made like this in one of the online stores, and it was just made out of molded plastic. But when I saw the idea, I went down to my shop and I simply took a drill bit and I made me different levels of it and drilled out, I think it's an 1 3/4 hole. But in that little space now I can store all of Goo Gone, some mineral spirits, denatured alcohol, Windex, isopropyl alcohol, different kind of things, and different things that you store. You can put your paints on there. Straight pins. I'm putting together an in-scale set on a piece of 2-inch blue board, foam board, and just simply pin the track to the blue board, and it worked fantastic. Just old straight pins. But this holds little holder things that hold your small parts. Another tip: I use this liquid cement from Testors, and the end is so thin it kept clogging up on me. Matter of fact, now so I had to finally cut it off, and when I cut it off, now it just sort of pours out. Well, I took the bottom of a little glass like this, and this is another tip that I got from somewhere in some of my reading, and I don't remember where, but there's a little indention on the bottom of that. If you take this and squirt just a little bit in there, take you a flat toothpick. Just the surface tension on the toothpick will pick up just enough of that, and you'll be surprised at how accurately you can lay that little bit of cement wherever you want to on a model in the smallest little surfaces. I came up with the toothpick idea. They were talking about using a paintbrush, a little paintbrush, but this is better than a brush. I've used both. First of all, you ruin the brush. This is much more accurate, and you just throw them away. Anyway, that's another little tip. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a papa, and my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. So I keep forms of magnification around so that I can up the ante a little bit whenever I'm trying to see something delicate. But one of the neatest things that I found was a visor that has magnification built in, and it fits over my glasses. I can put that on. It has 2 layers of magnification, and if you really want to see something small, you can bring in even a third. It's also got lights on it. If you can find you one of these and you don't see as well as you used to, you'd be surprised how many times you'll use that. I use it whenever I'm soldering track. I can see the minute that the solder flows, and I can see what the solder does. I can never see that with my normal eyes, but I can see it real well through these. Now, this is something really simple, and you may or may not even think about it, but when you're cutting a part off of a sprue, when you're putting a model together, sometimes it'll leave just the tiniest nib on the part. Take a sanding pad, just run it across there. You can also just take a flat piece of sandpaper if you get your glass. It being flat, whenever you put that sandpaper down and run that little piece of plastic over, it'll flatten that edge really nice for you. Because of the limitations that YouTube places on us, we can only do about 10 minutes per video. So this ends part 1. Look in my channel, Papa Trains, and you'll find part 2. And don't forget to come visit us at papatrains.com. Now don't forget, if you'd like to visit my online store, Papa's Trains, Toys, CDs, and more, Just go to papatrains.com, and when you get to the landing page, scroll down and you'll see a Papa's Trains logo. Click the logo and it'll take you to my store. See you there.